Hello, my name's Ben Hooley. I'm an illustrator and a GM, and I've been illustrating some characters that have come up in the game I've been running recently. It's a game called Mythic Bastionland, and it's a role-playing game designed by Chris McDowell. I've got 3 friends who are playing the game, and in the previous episode, I illustrated their characters. And this one, I'm going to illustrate a couple of the characters who have appeared as non-player characters in their story so far. The first one here is a squire. His name, randomly chosen from the book, is Cradokke. Cradokke was the squire to the Copper Knight who met an unfortunate fate at the hands of the Wyvern. And when the party, the company I should say, met Cradokke, he took a lot of consoling. It was decided by one of the seers that he wasn't quite ready to become a knight, but he'd grown very fond almost immediately of Sir Perrin there. So Cradokke became Sir Perrin's squire and is very happy to do so. Cradokke is quite young, he seemed quite impressionable, and they're a good opportunity for me to have a voice in the campaign while the company's riding around. It's a good opportunity to give them information or point them in the right direction in character. The other character here is Mother Glower. She is an ancient acolyte of the seer. The seers are these weird kind of Merlin-esque kind of characters. There's quite a few of them, there's not just one, and they're all very different and weird. And she is an acolyte of the drowned seer. The drowned seer lives somewhere at the bottom of an impossibly deep pond, and it's up to Mother Glower and her other acolytes to find out what the seer has to say every morning, and they do this in a variety of weird ritualistic ways. Also, I kind of designed Mother Glower so that I could give information to the characters without them having to stick their head in a pond all the time and then find out the next morning what was going on. So I'm working on these as roughs kind of quite quickly. In the previous video, you would have seen me take a little bit longer over doing silhouettes, and I've done 3 characters in this style now, and it's like, right, okay, I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing. So I combine the silhouette stage here with the beginnings of the color stage when I start to work with a base shape that I can build up colors on top of and use that as a clipping mask to contain all the colors above it, so I can paint quite freely and loosely without it kind of going over the edges, as it were. It acts like a mask. There you can see the other characters just in the background there. I kept Sir Perrin on the left. Because she's Cradokke's knight that Cradokke is now squiring for, I thought it'd be useful to keep her there as reference. So I start colouring Cradokke. Cradokke comes with an oversized shirt of mail, so he's inherited that from someone. He also has an interest in cookery, and this is all randomly found out from the book, rolling dice and reading pages. So he's got some herbs there that he's collected, and I gave him a little red scarf because Sir Perrin the character has a red scarf and a red cloak. I thought that maybe she would probably want Cradokke to have it's kind of almost a bit of livery of his own to show that he is squire to Sir Perrin first and foremost, even though he's happy to share his cooking skills with the rest of the company too, of course. He's a happy fellow, look at that. Perhaps not the sharpest tool in the box, but he's been gifted a maudlin pony by the acolytes so that he would be able to ride around with the company, because they all have steeds of their own. I think the player decided that Cradokke's pony was going to be called Fanny. Yeah, role-playing games are all about puns. So he's got a dagger, he's got a couple of javelins there as well, and he's already come in very handy in a fight. He's turned out to be pretty useful in a fight, actually. And he survived the first adventure with none of the knights have died yet, which has been a bonus, I suppose. We've played just twice and there are already loads more plot hooks that have come into play. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next, even though they've already completed their first quest, the Myth of the Wyvern. I described Mother Glower in quite a lot of detail. She was one of the characters that I prepared before we started playing. I wanted to have a few characters that I had a bit of background to knowledge of before I just went into improv mode and just had to act as whoever. And Mother Glower was this character that I really enjoyed playing for the players. She has these kind of charms on her staff there, the copper charms that are covered in verdigris from her time by the drowned seer's impossibly deep pool. And she's also, we decided she was blind. When I say we, I mean me. The players had no say in it whatsoever. I thought she'd have, because she's the voice of the seer, I thought it would be a little bit more mythic for her to have lost her natural sight. So she has this bandage over her eyes, which I sort of added design to for the seer that I got from the book later on. I added more of these verdigris copper charms to her earrings and bangles, and hanging from her belt. There you go. You've got the seer's eye on her bandage to show that she can see what the seer can see, even though she can't. Seers see everything about the myths. Acolytes of the seers like Mother Glower just say they can. Maybe they can. There's a little bit of highlight going on there. I just use white and then use it as an overlay layer so it affects the colours below it. And I decided that it was all looking a bit blue, so I would add a bit more yellow in there as well. And then finally I changed the male shirt of Cradokke there to be a bit grey, a bit less blue, and I made Mother Glower a bit more blue. And I hope you agree they're a characterful pair indeed. I'm looking forward to drawing some more non-player characters for you next time. Thanks for watching.